Hey, internet world, not YouTube tonight. Oh, YouTube later, but not right now. Whatever. It's a long story. It's 10:51 p.m. here in Central Standard Time, wherever y'all are at. It is time for another episode of Torch Talk, episode 206. It's crazy. We've got some awesome stuff to watch tonight. FireFly is gonna show us some amazing sculpting stuff. Mike was able to put together a little short for us, a little short film, if you will, maybe. Maybe we'll just go ahead and go with that. So we're gonna get to some intros. We're gonna hang out, have a good time, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's on YouTube, wherever we're at. We're gonna have some fun. It's good to see you guys and gals out there as always with us. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. So let's get to some intros and then we'll get to some glass stuff. And I'll get myself out of the way. My name is Will. Y'all know where to find me. Tuesday night, I'm right here on an episode of Torch Talk. Sunday afternoon, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, you'll find me at Glass Vegas. You may even find Mike Mason over in Glass Vegas too. But yeah, let's switch the camera over to him. That's Mr. Mike Mason.
What up,
There,
gangsters?
there he is.
Yep. It's your boy, Mike Mason, with the glass. Now, homies, it is so nice to be here. It is so dope to have what we got to share tonight. FireFly's work is simply incredible, and we caught up with him at East Coast Melt. So, man, it is, like I said, just an honor to share what he does. An incredible sculptor. And I think some of y'all saw in the thumbnail these gorilla pieces that he's known for that are just incredible. So, where we caught him, he had added some opal eyes. We're going to get to see how he lenses those and share some tricks. And I think what's really impressive here is this demo where he is sharing how to do the open mouth sculpture, which, is, I'm not certain if there's one out there, but if there is, I don't know where it is. So this is really cool to see his approach to, he gouges in the mouth or whatever, and we'll let him do the visual work, but just to give some premise about what we're going to see. And yeah, I think it's really cool. I wanted to give a shout out to my girlfriend, Carrie Anstrop, who's probably with you guys there in the chat.
She is.
Yeah, she was kind enough to film this out at Melt, and so we have her to thank for this footage, and I did some editing on it, but yeah, I wanted to give her a huge shout out. So yeah, without further ado, I'll go ahead and pop this thing off.
Off we go.
Yeah, off we go. Let's do this. Homies, these companies help me get to all of these events and take the time to edit this footage and share this stuff. So I want to take just a minute to acknowledge them. These are all great companies I've done business with for years or used their torches. And yeah, I can't express how much I appreciate these companies and you guys out there who are pitching in. It means so much, and it's making so much possible. And yeah, man, I can't express my gratitude enough to all of you out there. And whew, yeah. So with that said, here's FireFly. At this point, he had added the opals, disc opals for eyes, and here we're gonna see him lens them up. And right out the gate, I thought this was interesting that he added both opal coins and then lens them both at the same time. And what he was mentioning at this time was that he adds a lot of glass over the coins, but that he's really careful to let it get over the edges, and that when he cooks that glass in and then hits it with the hand torch and such, it's really taking care to get the edges of the coins. It sounded like that was the area that was going to give some problems. So just something to notice here in what he was mentioning. And then at the end, he does a quick carve in between. So it's like he gains that definition back that you might have done by doing them like one eye at a time or whatever. He gets that by, carving that line back in after cooking them both in at once. Just some stuff that I thought was interesting here.
Now, Mike, do you know if he had those coins pre-skimmed, like coated in glass and then skimmed, or were they just
Almost
opals pressed right onto?
Yeah, well, Carrie filmed this, so she might be able to answer that in the chat. But my feeling is that he almost certainly skimmed them, you know.
Yeah, to protect them.
Exactly, yeah. Like at that, it would be weird to try and add them without that. But yeah, I like him, AKM, guys like that. They add a bunch to get it encased, and then some of you are probably familiar with this, but if you're not, they call it like skinning the opal or whatever, and they almost like pull a stringer or whatever with the opal in the middle, and that just pulls all that glass off and leaves you with a very thin coat. So yeah, that's what's happening here. He's added the glass over there. It looks like he's maybe adding more, cleaning it up, but you know,
And he's already basically got that ape head shape, you know, like you can actually already kind of see the guy in there.
yeah,
It's pretty cool. Looks like he's adding some more lens on there, huh?
he is. Yes. I think probably just to get them even at that point, you know. He let it all cook in, and then he saw maybe one was just a little lower or whatever. But yeah, you know, that really was his comment, was that he likes to get a lot of glass on top, but that it's also important to let it go over the edges where it connects in. And then he can do, you know, lay in the eyebrows or whatever you want to call it, like all those structures over it and such. But what's important is that underneath that, you know, especially at the edge of the coin, where that's got to be the thinnest place, right? Because like the front's got all this glass over it, but that edge, if you don't let enough kind of coat over there, I think that was what he was warning about, that being problematic. So I'm not the opal eye master, but that's what he felt was so important that he took a minute to say so. So. Yeah, and go ahead, man.
Oh no, there was a question from the chat. Somebody was wondering, as I was, if anyone out there could venture to guess a shot on that color that he's using there, that purple.
Oh, that's a good question. That I don't know. Maybe Carrie could also fill us in on that. That is a good question.
It's a great purple.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. It could be like a purple lilac or something.
So I mean, you could finish that right there, call it a ghost head, and be done. And
right, yeah, totally.
FireFly likes to take it to the next level. I mean, his work is just astounding, and it was cool at Melt where this happened. I look over to my right, and there's this guy standing next to me, and you know, he's like, "Man, I'm Nick," and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" You know, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm FireFly." He's like, "I'm a big fan of Torch Talk," you know. And I was like, "Oh wow, dude, you're amazing." That's amazing to hear you say that, because your work is astounding, you know. So we had a nice long chat. He's a really cool guy.
That's really nice to hear. It's man, yeah. What a treat to hear that people who I have so much respect for maybe even know we exist. That's just crazy. So guys, here you know, important to notice that he didn't just gouge that all in one move. He got it started and then put some more heat into it, and then kind of almost slid that in to really control the cavity, so to speak. And now he's adding the beginning of the tongue. All of this is so critical.
That mouth opening part right there, that's pretty amazing. I wasn't expecting that, honestly.
Sounds like we're having some internet issues tonight, folks. I'm sorry. I'm recording this, so we'll upload it and hopefully have a proper version later.
Yeah, if we ever have issues like that, you'll know you can find us either at, you know, YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, and then of course, like Mike said, we put it up on there, and you know, then you guys can watch it in all its glory, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. It looks like things are holding somewhat steady, but
that was like a pink that he's using there. He's still adding strip by strip onto the tongue there.
Yeah, exactly. He's building this out. You know,
wow.
What I noticed and what I just thought was really impressive was that the whole process is very meticulous. You know, it's not like he just just like move, 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 and he's got a mouth. It's like this process is, a few different steps to get that cavity even started, and then a bunch of little steps to build out the tongue. And then he's going to build up around it to build up the facial structure with these different colors and until it's where he wants. And especially like the top, like the bottom mouth that's kind of open, a lot that has a lot less structure to build up. But the top, we're going to see him really build that out layer by layer by layer. And
It's crazy.
yeah, it's just a slow, meticulous process. And what you'll see too is that as he goes through and keeps this thing hot, he's continuously going back into the cavity with his sculpting tool and re-adding that definition.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like if he were to skip that, he would reheat it too much, and then it would start to cook in too much, and it would be too late to really get the tight definition. And I just think there's so much to be learned by watching. And this looks like a dab tool to me, like a sculpting tool, but like it looks so nice. I think it may legitimately be like a dab scoop or something. But again, the thing to see is that he will, throughout this process, as he's building up these structures, he keeps going back in and keeping that definition proper. So there's just so much to learn from his approach to doing this. I mean, it's very similar to what Lawrence Stump taught me. He kind of opened the mouth and then built it, from the back. But this, to me, is a different and a little bit more intricate. He takes his time more with what he's doing to build this structure up. It's just a different way of sculpting, and it's a real treat to see. It's like I put it in the description, it's just really high-level killer sculpting, and this is... I really have scratched my head, like, who has demoed an open-mouthed character or something? And I can't think of it. Nothing with this level of intricacy. So, it's just such a treat, and I can't express my gratitude enough to FireFly for letting us share this, and being so open with this process. This is the type of stuff some guys would be like, well, look, we saved that for the class, So yeah, it's so cool. And here, every sculptor guy has like their knife. He's got like a cool pocket knife.
I noticed that earlier, and I was like, yeah, that's his go-to, right? Everybody has their little go-to tool.
I'd make a good post in Torch Talk. Like, what's your go-to sculpting knife? I've got one that my dad gave me years ago. It's like a modified fishing knife, a modified fillet knife. Yeah, like it's got like a custom ground edge on it, and the reason I started using it is that in the elbow webinar, actually, he mentions that he had this knife that he changed the edge on, as I recall, and I was like, you know what? That's exactly the same thing as that fucking knife my dad gave me. I was like, too cool. I think I just found my knife. And something that Elbow mentions is that he likes those knives that have that let him a sharp tip, because like when he's carving in the eyes and stuff, he wants to get into that corner, and really start from there with that gouge and then roll it out, that sort of thing. So everybody's got their knives and then certain reasons they like them. Other guys just love that butter knife, and they'll do 99% of their sculpting with that, and maybe they use a tungsten pick for some of the finer details. Lawrence Stump does most of his sculpting with the fucking posted razor blade. Like, it's like a little razor blade that sticks on a handle, like the OG razor blade. That's it. And he uses that and a tungsten pick that he curves into a hook for virtually all of his sculpting.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
so we're going in on some lips, maybe?
We're starting to add some outer definition here.
Or gums. I guess it would, because, right, he adds teeth kind of like jumping out at you.
Yes.
And it looks like maybe it's just me, but like that initial cavity he created for the open mouth, it is kind of condensing, right? It's kind of coming in a little bit. So maybe I wonder if there's a methodology behind what he's doing there to kind of make it a little bit more exaggerated than he wants to end up with. Because after a while, it might kind of, come in on you.
Yeah, well, I think he's just mitigating that by continuously, like every single step in between, he goes back in with his dab tool or his knife and makes sure that cavity stays really proper. So I think so much of the secret sauce is right there, you guys. Like, not my world, but what I'm noticing here is it's, again, it's that he's meticulous. He's continuously going back and making sure that that cavity stays proper. So, just something to think. I think it's kind of reassuring, actually. It's like, oh, okay, there's not like I mean, the guy's incredibly talented, but it also goes to show you that, it's like you got to lay that in, but then just remember to take those extra steps to preserve it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like he keeps going back in and adding it because it's like with certain, if you're sculpting like on the face, a lot of the fine detail you could just add later. Like if Lawrence Stump's doing like an animal head or whatever, he might not go in and actually do those last few carves, to get like the fur detail or whatever you want to call it. He might not do that till the very end. This thing, by the very end, that cavity is not really going to be accessible without fucking everything else up. So it's like, I think it's just extra important that he keeps that happy as he goes. And then those opal eyes up there, that's the other thing, is that has to be really kept happy. So I think therein presents that conundrum of like, how do I keep that shit happy while also not cooking out all this detail and doing it in a way that precludes me from getting in there later? And it's just, again, it's taking his time with every little step and making sure that's all set in. See how many more times I can say that.
He's really precise with his heat. He knows exactly where he needs to go in, and like you said, he's there all the time, just like knighting that tongue. Just
yep. And even
one shoulder after the other.
Even there, like he went in between the eyes a little, and that's just because inevitably the heat crept up that way. So that was where, even though he technically wasn't working on that area, I think he just touched it for just a second to like, because it was probably a little just on the edge of soft, Just those little touches. It shows he was really paying attention to every little area in here, and he likely knows every trouble area because he does a lot of these. And they're all so fucking beautiful. You guys got to check his Instagram out in the video description, or it will be when it's on YouTube. Yeah, disastrous night for the internet out here.
His work is just that's why when he was like, yeah, I'm a big fan. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? I'm a fan of what you do, man. This is insane. Like,
yeah.
His sculpting is just, I mean, it's like it's almost like he has like a mold. You know what I mean? And just like cookie cutters these things, but you can see that clearly he doesn't. There's no such thing as possible.
Yeah, no, it's just meticulous with his style.
Yeah.
And it really speaks to his control. I mean, and we haven't even mentioned the ridiculous, he does like the gold luster paint or whatever that you can then fire on, so it looks like they're freaking gold. I mean, his stuff, he's just pushing the limits, and I think it's amazing. Yeah, what an honor to get to share this. And here he is again, though, you guys. Like, every step of the way, he's going back in with that knife and making sure that cavity, where like the sides of the tongue and the back. The back he's getting with that dab tool. It's like a tongue depressor or whatever,
Checking the tonsils.
Yeah, say or whatever. And but that's what it is, and like that's allowing that thing to stay exactly how he wants it throughout this process, and he'll be able to cook all this glass in, and it's all going to be happy while preserving that internal detail. And yeah, every step of the way, he's taking his time with that hand torch and really getting all those edges really happy. Just working clean, working proper.
I like that pink he's using too. I don't know if that's pink Cadillac or what, but
right. It almost looks like a pulled down Boro bar.
Oh yeah.
Like the Boro stick or whatever, the blush I think is the color that a lot of you guys use.
He's definitely pulled something down, or whatever.
Now at a certain point here, he stopped working, and Carrie caught back up with him, but we basically missed the teeth getting laid in, and later we actually get to see a really important part where he tapers off like the fangs on the top and the bottom. So we don't miss it all. And what we did miss, I believe, is in some footage that I have of some other amazing artists. So I snuck in about 5 minutes of two different artists doing their style of the teeth. And I bring it up because Eli Mizet is one of them, and he clearly uses the Boro sticks to get that pink, and they looked very similar. It's that same pink shade. It could be, it's definitely not North Star Bubblegum. That's a much lighter pink, but it could be the pink Cadillac, Troutman's. That's a richer pink. But that Boro stick, I think it's called Blush. I don't use them. But it's definitely a Boro stick that Eli's using, because we can see him. He like welds two together and then lays in his gum or whatever. But yeah, anyways, I think here, yeah, he's switched to like an outer color that kind of forms the face. Yeah, so just so neat to watch all these various steps that somebody at this level goes through to produce this. From what was literally a fucking just a hollow
shape,
a ball before or whatever. Yeah, it's
a hollow nothing.
Yeah,
now it has some personality. Even right here, it has some strange personality, but it's got some personality. You can already kind of see the face emerging, I guess.
Oh yeah. I do see we've dropped some frames, guys, so I'm sorry if your video is just a bit jumpy out there, homies. When this uploads to YouTube, I've got a recording that's going that'll be pristine. It just looks like from time to time the internet is completely dropping. I don't know what's happening.
Good old technology.
Yeah. Gosh, I forget where I saw the joke. Maybe it was in like one of the You Don't Know Jack games or something. They were joking about podcasts, and they were like, and it's everybody's favorite part of the podcast, like when they apologize for quality issues. And it made me laugh so hard because it's like so fucking true. Everyone's like, and sorry about that. I hate to be like that, because I work so hard to make this all look beautiful and give the glass world what I think, like that ESPN level of coverage and quality that I think our art deserves. And then the internet goes to shit when somebody uploads a hot cat video, and it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Anyways, I won't ramble about that anymore. But I just wanted to apologize to anybody whose shit's a little jumpy. But yeah, so here again, using the hand torch, taking his time to cook in each essentially layer of this, and it's a different thing, but it's like, I don't know what you'd call additive sculpture, I think is the term. I didn't go to art college or whatever, but
sounds right.
No, but essentially he's building this thing up layer by layer, but he's, like I said, just meticulous. That's, after editing this for a few hours, I was just really, really taken back at the pace that he works. I mean, when it's done, an incredible artifact has been, created. And that's how it is with a lot of these guys. It looks slow, but there's no mistakes. And after a few hours or whatever, the incredible thing is done or whatever, and it's just like, it seems so slow and meticulous, but, at the end of the day, the work gets done. And yeah, just something to think about. There's rarely a need to rush. I mean, there's always an incentive to rush, a financial incentive, that is. But especially when, it's like once you know that track, you can cut the corners. You got to know when to do it. And guys like this, they've crashed the car enough times, I'm sure. But that's my feeling here. I'm seeing a man who's wrecked the car a few times and is like, oh, hell the fuck no. I got two seatbelts.
Yeah, you gotta wreck it to know how it works, I guess, right?
Something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a bad analogy.
There's all these yeah. There's all these cute sayings but at the end of the day, I like the one where it's like, if you're not breaking some shit, you're probably not pushing yourself. And like when you're making those production items or whatever that we all got to do to pay the bills, of course not. But, you know, when it's time to explore and stretch your legs a little, yeah, that's the time when maybe you should expect to drop the first few. That's another thing, too. It's like, I don't know, I talk a lot about, because I just want people to understand the truth that, like, this shit is hard, especially the first few years. After the fundamentals come together and, like, the material moves the way you expect, and you kind of have a understanding of how stress moves through glass and when it happens and what triggers it, and your movements are more controlled, so you're not accidentally flashing an area that you didn't mean to. There's just so many random things stop, and your success rate should, you know, it happens for some people at 6 months. It could be 1 year. It could be 2 years. It could never happen because you're starting from, you know, maybe you're disabled. Maybe, you know, whatever is making you happy. I just want people to understand that the beginning especially is a bitch and your success rate is low. But once you get your sea legs, that shit goes through the roof, and it's like, you know, it just takes less attempts to figure out what's going to go wrong. And
it looked like he was getting in there pretty aggressively with that knife to kind of keep that definition, you know, between the tongue and the side walls of the mouth. He was getting in there.
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's exactly what, you know, like I said, I feel like I'm rambling about it at this point, but it's, again, look at how many times he's done that step over and over again, just in between laying like one layer of glass and then another one and another one, and then like he'll do it again after he hand torches it.
Yeah.
He'll do it again after he reheats the blank. And, you know, is the first person I've seen do it, you know, other than like Lawrence Stump, but I've not seen him do it as intricate a mouth. You know, the mouths he do are a bit smaller scale and like less teeth going on, but yeah, so I don't know. And it's just awesome to see. And I don't know. I think that's a very key thing to notice is just how meticulous he is, and keeps that inside of that mouth really tight the entire way he's going. It is again. We should make this a drinking game. Like every time he does the tongue depressor, you got to take a shot.
Oh man. But then there'd be some knife purists that are like, no, man, you got to drink when he hits it with the knife.
Oh, no.
Like, okay, well, you drink then I'll drink with the tongue depressor.
That sounds like a very dangerous game.
Both going to be messed up. Oh, there we go.
There it is again. Drink.
Yep. Drink it up.
Drink. Drink.
Go ahead and take a big old chug there.
Woo. Sierra's going in on another layer. Like I was mentioning earlier, the top is getting a lot more glass added, because the bottom, if you see it, it's like the dead jaw is mostly already there.
And it looks like he's adding this layer of pink a little bit below. Is this the teeth or is this not the teeth?
I think this is still part of the jaw where like basically he's building out like if you think of like Homer Simpson, you know, like this is like the part that sticks out of his, you know.
Oh, yeah, because monkeys
like
can do that thing where they pull their skin back and show their teeth, right?
Yes, it's something like that. So yeah, he's got to build that structure out first. And I think that this is like the internal part of it, and then you see he's going over it with the black to form like the monkey's outer layer of skin. But we're able to see into the mouth, so he's got to lay the pink first and build that out. So, yeah, what a process to get to see. Like just the order of operations here. You know, I imagine some of you guys are out there with notepads, because I know I'm spacing on the name, I'm sorry, but Kind Soul in the group was like, you know, I was just trying to do an open mouth today and thinking, how would FireFly do it? And then they saw that I posted this, and I thought that's lovely. I like moments of serendipity like that. But yeah, just really awesome to be able to share this, and I do hope it gives you guys some ideas.
Heathen Art Glass in the chat of Twitch, so you on YouTube will be able to see this. But he says we were waiting for Mike to say "dank" before they drank. I guess so.
Oh, is that the new? That's the new stump.
I guess that's a drinking game that is out there.
Okay. All right.
Dank Heat, I guess, would be another one. Where
Yeah.
that would come up.
I can certainly oblige.
Saying that is easy.
Mm-hmm. Y'all in trouble now. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Go crack a new one.
There it is again with the dab tool.
Yeah.
I'm officially calling it a dab tool. It could well be like a sculpting tool or a dental, type of tool.
Dental tool, yeah.
And they sell kits of those like very, very cheap. Hey, Millie Meetup. They're in the corner.
Meetup.
Guys, coming up. That's happening in a week or something. We're gonna be at the Millie Meetup in the Elvis Suite, throwing down.
Oh.
We're looking very, very much forward to that. Huge shout outs to Isaac, the homie with Dopals. And speaking of what's down there, Torch Pass, you guys. Some amazing stuff has gone up for Torch Pass in February. That's at torchpass.tv. It would mean a lot if you guys could consider supporting me there. All that money goes straight to travel arrangements for me, and even now, like Carrie, for example, she's filming this. If she comes with me to a show, it's because there's too much glass for one person to film. Same thing goes for Will, my friend Rob, Whitefire Glass. This thing I'm doing is kind of bigger than me, and even if it is just me, just today alone, it's like I heard about a new event, and I'm actually authorized to tell you guys about this. Okay, so Glass Roots was in Madison, Wisconsin, right? And they have now moved to Asheville, North Carolina, right? So this big show that was part of the Midwest has gone away. But basically there is a new show that is taking its place. It's called the FAM Show. Let me actually get the dates out for you guys so I can tell you exactly what's happening. I know especially those of you who go to Glass Roots out in the Midwest, this is very important news. Good Lord, everybody's following me on Twitch now. This is crazy. Okay, the FAM Glass Show, you guys. August 17th to 19th, 2019. It stands for the Functional Art Movement. They're hosting a trade show at the Moana Terrace in Madison, Wisconsin. So there's going to be demos, scientific and artistic glass blowing. That's about as much as I know right now. This is still coming together, and I think they just started telling people about it at the Age show, and then they'll be potentially telling us more at Glass Vegas. But anyways, I did want to tell you all about that, and that's this sort of thing where like something that I didn't even know about. We're already coming up on like over 10 major events. And then all of a sudden I hear about another one that would love to have me out. They're putting together a heavy hitter lineup of demos. I want to be there to film that, but where's the money? Because we're just getting to the point where I'm covering the core events. And, as much as I'd like to cover the spread, my daughter's about to be in college, that sort of thing. So, not to mix this cool news up, but just to make it personal for a moment, it's like, here's another show I want to cover. There's a couple of others that I can't even talk about yet. There's a lot that I want to do for this community that I know you guys will be like, fuck yes. So if there's any way you guys could consider helping me out on the Torch Pass, you get access to some incredible stuff 6 months before it hits the public channels. And, yeah, I won't go on about that any longer, but it would mean a lot because there's more to do, and we're going to get it done. So, okay, anyways, back to the demo at hand. But, I felt comfortable talking here because it is very much the same thing we've been seeing. He's laid more glass. He's checked his definition on the internal stuff, and now he's grabbing that hand torch and he's getting all the edges of everything to really make sure it's happy. Sort of thing where, like, if you don't take your time with it, like if you lay it over like there could be a little bit of air trap. There could be a little tiny crevice under there. It might look smooth on the outside, but if you don't take your time and really make sure it's a proper seal, that's the sort of thing that will tank this sort of work. And, you know, people will be like, how do guys like Salt, FireFly, these guys, Lawrence Stump, all these people who do really intricate sculpting with some very hard angles, because we're all taught that those hard angles, and they're a form of mechanical stress. They form a weak point, and it's like, how do they get away with it? And in my view, they get away with it because everything leading up to it is perfectly sound and happy. So, there might be some of those acute angles, but they lay them in at the right time. They never randomly flash them again if they have to exist while the piece is still being worked on. That sort of thing prevents them from being triggered before they can do anything, and then when the stress gets annealed out, yeah, I mean, it's not the same as like a sphere, but it's the sort of thing that in theory isn't going to like spontaneously self-destruct or whatever. And so just something to think about, taking that time to do all this stuff underneath before you add all these teeth with all these all that firm definition and all this detail. Knowing that all the glass around it is definitely happy is, in my mind, almost prerequisite to having a piece like this survive, especially, like statistically, like most of the time. You want it to be virtually 100%, right? Like, God forbid a piece comes back, every few years or whatever it'll be, but they should consistently survive. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oakwood Hot Works in the chat room says, next time you're at the dentist, ask if they have any old dental tools. They always have some ready for me each time I'm in. I have a lot. That's a good idea.
Yeah. That is a great idea.
Yeah, if you can see the dentist, 3 or 4 times a year, I guess like you're supposed to, they might have some extra stuff for you.
Are you really supposed to see your dentist 4 times a year?
Wasn't it like...
It sounds like some shit dentist came up with.
Or insurance companies. No, it would, because it would have been dentist. Yeah, because they're getting the money.
Yeah. I think twice a year is acceptable.
Like
once a
year
year for
looks. For the next 5 years, it seems like, but yeah. It's going to be a long journey. 2 years.
All right, drink.
There it is.
Yeah. That's a really cool tool, though. It's, it's got that little bit of a curve to it. It really does allow him to get back in there and form that definition, Like, stick your hand in the back of your throat and feel, you guys. It's like, no, just kidding. Someone in the audience just threw up.
Huh. And they're making fun of me in the chat room because they're like, it's 2 times Will. And I'm like, well, my wife's insurance lets me go 4 times. So, if it's free, you go.
I don't know. I couldn't be bothered with all that. It's too much time. Like, unless the dentist like stops by my house or something.
Do you do house calls by any chance?
Can you do this while I'm working on Millie?
I have a Dremel over there. You can use that for the polishing thing. I'm sure that some rich people probably get house call dentistry done, right? Gotta happen somewhere.
I mean, some rich people have like transfusions of blood from young people and shit. Like, they'll do anything. Shit, dude. Man. Rich people in New York or whatever, in like big cities, they have a service that comes by and hits you with blood bags, actually, or like not necessarily blood, but like intravenously injected fluids. It's like whatever the Gatorade equivalent, for your bloodstream is. Like, they come by and IV you up, and it's supposed to like help you cure from a hangover really quick. So like, this is, rich people are living a whole different life, folks. I'm sorry, I don't know much about it, but what I've found out, It's shit like this. It's crazy. They don't even have hangovers anymore. They have a doctor shows up at their house and gives them an IV, and then they're ready to do coke again like an hour later. It's awesome. So,
I guess if you're gonna do that amount of that, a blood transfusion
yeah,
might be.
this is why I need you guys to contribute, because your boy's trying to get that IV. You know what I mean?
That's man, that's some weird Nosferatu vampire shit. Like the more I kind of like.
Oh, the one with the young people's blood. Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you just drink it? And they probably do. There's probably some weird shit going on we don't know about, but. And now we're on a list of like people that are to be watched because we know the truth.
Oh yeah.
Like that scene in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where everybody in the bar turns to the, horrible monster things. They're all drinking blood and eating each other.
Yo, the fee for entry for the Young Blood Institute.
Oh.
$285,000 per person.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah, this shit's crazy. Now, Wikipedia says it's completely considered pseudoscience, and they comparisons to snake oil. So if anybody's out there, like, don't go kidnap any children and take their blood or whatever, because I'm not advocating for that.
Well, now we went through that already as humanity, right? Back in the Middle Ages when they would do the bloodletting. Right, similar, right, where they would actually let you bleed out, thinking that it would take the toxins with it, and your body would produce more fresh blood, and it would.
Yeah, what's the trepanning or whatever is the word when they would drill a hole in your head?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
No, but that sounds horrible.
Let's see what Google says about this. Okay, it's called trepanning, also known as trepanation. Is making a burr hole. It's a surgical intervention in which a hole is drilled or scraped into the human skull, exposing the dura mater. It is used to relieve pressure beneath the surface.
Oh, okay. So, like, if you got, like, a swelling brain, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. They did it because they believed there were, like, evil spirits inside. So... Yeah, like, you got ghosts. We gotta drill a hole in your head. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, this'll let them out. So he's just adding more onto that lip there.
Okay, now it was apparently a primitive emergency surgery after head wounds to remove shattered bits of bone from a fractured skull and clean out the blood that often pools under the skull after a blow to the head. So, like, if you got hit with, like, the war club, like, that's what they would have to do. They'd have to drill a hole in your head so you wouldn't die. Anyways, lovely chat tonight here on Torch Talk.
Yeah.
This is
modern medicine of apes.
Yeah.
We are all apes at the end of the day, aren't we?
Okay, so you guys remember when I was mentioning I snuck in some footage just so you guys could see some ideas about doing teeth? Because, like I said, the homie at that point, he took a break. And at that point, you're lucky to catch up with anybody for even what we got at the end. So, okay, so here he is laying that. And those are Boros sticks. Like I was saying, I think the color is called blush. I could be wrong, but... And yeah, here he is. He's laying it almost like he's coil potting. And then he's going to lay the layer for teeth. Keeping that puck hot.
I always have issues with my puck when I'm doing that, especially, I mean, it looks like a cold seal down there. And
yeah, that's rough.
I go ahead and do a hot seal because my coil will always fail on me.
Yeah, well, you got like 10 seconds with that cold seal on the bottom to keep it alive, so. And now we're going to see Zach Puckowitz, do the same thing. And both of these guys, what you'll notice is that they take a reamer and really get that backside lifted out. And, you know, now with this open mouth structure, I think that's got to be extra difficult. I think that's another reason he really makes sure everything stays open and defined in there so that he can, you know, I imagine he might even go in there with that same tool, just using the upper surface of it to rub against the backside of the teeth, you know, and then sneak the hand torch in. I think it's more difficult with that mouth, but I think some of these approaches can be used. You just got to find the right tool and angle to get in there and make sure that all those seals are happy and everything. And it's the same deal with those teeth. They take a scissor to it and cut that definition in so that you get it like, right from both sides. It's a good way to get that. And, so those are really acute angles as well. And, so I think that's why they all take that time to like go in there with a tool and really like lift that back side out and make sure it's all happy. So that's another one, like, especially if it's not being seen as much from the back, like that's probably the one you can really work. But and here he's getting that angle so that he can hit that interior seal, so that they all form like one little layer on top, almost like a big coil pot, like I was saying.
Interesting night in the chat room. Just interesting.
I can only imagine what's going on in there based on the shit we've been talking about.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
there
here
it
we
goes.
go.
Just cut
Yep.
some teeth.
Yep.
Okay, he's just kind of going around.
Yeah, and just enough to give you that look. Reminds me of when I was learning with Robert Mickelson, and he used a very similar technique to cut the definition on the edge of a leaf. Just that move where you're not closing the scissor all the way. It's just a, like, let me sound effects. Okay, now here, Zach P was making a toilet, but it's the same approach. He laid the gum, and then he lays the teeth, and then he cuts them. So I thought this would be, like I said, just snuck in a few minutes to hopefully give you guys some different approaches to the teeth, just to see how some homies are doing it. And this was filmed at the International Flameworking Conference, and that's at Salem in New Jersey. They've got a killer lineup this year with Micah Evans and a number of other awesome artists. So if you're like East Coast style homie, I would definitely consider going out to Salem for that. Let me give you all the exact dates. I wish I could make it. I will be attending another event at that time. That's when the Champs Masters series is going on. So, like, I'm going to be filming, like, 42 amazing people competing and throwing down. Kit Paulson, Carmen Lozar. She, not to make this, like, one of those... we talk about like, and we met this guy and they like Torch Talk, but I met Carmen Lozar and I'd mentioned the Torch Talk, and she told me she appreciates what we're doing, and that meant so much. Mike Shelbo, Becky Feather, BFF Glass, Amy Lemaire, Micah Evans. We're getting awesome lineup there at the IFC, and that's March 1st through 3rd. So if you're out on the East Coast and you can get out to New Jersey, to Salem Community College. Awesome event. Great demos like this. Salem's really neat. And there's that move where he's like really getting that outside, or the inside rather. I don't know, we're back with the homie FireFly.
He's got his Bunsen out now.
Yes, that's something important to note. At this point, he is really taking care to keep that thing warm the entire time. Here's going to add the ears. And again, it's like an additive sculpture thing.
just keeping things warm. I mean, he's got a lot of overhangs. Those eyelids are on now. He's got some of those cuts in the forehead.
Yep. Yeah.
And kiln space, at Melt it's sometimes it can be a walk over to the, like, what, 10 or 15 feet sometimes. So you gotta plan ahead.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's at any of those kind of events though, where you go and there's multiple people, like, champs. And if you watch the footage we've seen on Torch Talk a million times, you see like 50 people in, like, a few kilns, and everybody's got to kind of work together.
Yep. They're big ass kilns, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
yeah. It's not like you've got one sitting right next to you on your bench like you do at home.
They make my F-130 look like a little guy.
Yeah, right. I got the F-120, so they all look freaking giant.
Yeah.
But it does what it needs to do for me. I like it.
Oh yeah, the Paragon's good stuff.
Right. Yeah. Everybody hates every kiln company. That's what
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
except for Scut. But they're like those. But it's just you get what you pay for. Scuts come with the nice relays, all this stuff. It's
I'll be a Scut hater. How about that? I'll be the only one.
Yeah.
No, I got nothing against them. I never used it,
Right.
so I don't even know.
Yeah. It is what it is. I think all they're relatively simple things. It's like if you've got an extra relay on hand, if you know how to pin your things back up, it's like there's only so much that can go wrong with them. But yeah, Lord, if you don't hear people get upset when their kiln's down and they can't work.
Oh man,
it's a frustrating thing.
Yeah, you become dependent on it, and then if it does go down, you're like, whoa, like,
yeah.
Reminds like blowing me of, glass on my back porch. It's it's a long walk to the kiln sometimes. So
yeah, reminds me of Jake Motzkowitz, who actually demoed at that IFC where we just saw Zach Puckowitz. Jake was telling me about this time that he was driving with the kiln in the back of his car. It was a Paragon, and that motherfucker fell out. And the cop had to stop in the middle of the road because his big ass kiln sitting in the middle of the street. See if I can't find that.
I think I remember that story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic story. There's a kiln and car comparison going on in the chat room now. Like, yeah, well, the Glass Hive is Honda and
yeah.
Chevy is, the Scut. It's like,
it's yours, man. I've got the article up. Glass artist Jacob Moskowitz of New Jersey recently moved his Paragon F-130 kiln a short distance to his new studio. The door of the kiln was tapping against the rear window of his Ford Explorer, so he stopped, opened the hatch, and continued driving. After starting from a traffic light, Jacob looked in his rearview mirror. The kiln was missing! It had tumbled out and landed upside down. The spring-loaded vertical drop door gaped open. Several bits of fire brick were scattered across the pavement. Just then, a police car came in the opposite direction. Jacob waved the policeman down and yelled, "Hey, that's my kiln! It just fell out of my truck." The policeman made a quick U-turn and parked behind the kiln, lights flashing to direct traffic around it. Yeah.
That was nice of the policeman.
Yeah. After he loaded the kiln into his Explorer and thanked the policeman, Jacob paused and said, "Wait a second, I'd like to show you a glass sculpture." It lay on the front seat of the Explorer. The policeman complimented Jacob on the artwork, and Jacob added, as he handed the policeman a business card, "If you ever need a gift, give me a call." He said, "Beside the broken brick and a dent on the element cover in the back, the kiln is 100% fine," Jacob said. "I turned it on and it works. This thing is built like a tank. I've had it since 2007. So, yeah, anyways, I thought that was a fun tale from a friend.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, if you Google that story or whatever, let's see if I can find it. I just closed it. There it is. It's on Paragon's website. I'll actually link it in the video description when I put it on YouTube. How about that? There's a great picture of the Paragon sitting on the road, upside down, with the door hanging open and a cop behind it.
Oh wow! So somebody had the forethought to get some images, I guess.
Jake did, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Like, might as well snap a photo real quick.
yeah. Okay, guys, and here I thought this was really, really, really cool stuff to get to see. Here's where he's like tipping off, and it's important to note too, like he did all this end work with the bottom fangs like rounded off. They didn't have any definition. And then the top fangs,
Yeah.
he got them kind of roughed out, and he's going to clean them up. But now he's doing the actual taper on those, and I thought that was just a really cool step to see. So he left enough extra glass there, but it was all rounded out, and he didn't want to tip them off until he needed it. They're so small, I imagine they would have just cooked out. And then another neat thing to notice there, he pulls them out to that really fine tip and then cracks it off with the plier. Here it is, same thing, just putting that heat into it from the front and then letting it pull out. And I think the mass of glass is such that it allows for a pretty tapered pull because of the way he hits it. Most of the heat is sinking into the front, and that's where he wants it to move the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he went all around it and heated the whole thing. He went mostly in from the front and then grabs it from the front and pulls it out. And
Yeah, I mean, pay attention to his technique, y'all, because if you look at his teeth are perfect. The taper, the way that these fangs terminate, it's absolutely perfect in my opinion. I feel like it proportionally it looks real to me.
Yeah, they're really great. They like you're mentioning like a mold or something. They look like something that was, they look like something not created by the hand of man. They're that perfect and that consistent, and there's just no tells, They really look good, and I agree with you completely. Like he just nails the shaping and the consistent sizing. And yeah, here we get to see, he's controlling just the amount of glass he wants to pull out, and then he's even letting it cool, and like I said, grabbing it with those pliers. It's like he's setting the end point, and not.
That was.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Sorry. Oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I was just wrapping up what I was saying. Anyway, it's just neat that he doesn't have to go back into the flame and risk extra material coming off there. He just crackety crack on that stringer taper, and here he's going back to get the top ones, and like I said, he roughed them out, but now he's going in for that final touch.
Yeah, I mean, he went in aggressively too. Looked like.
Yeah, this
tooth was a whole lot bigger.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I thought this was just so awesome to see. Again, huge thanks to Carrie.
Yeah, great job, Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie, you nailed this filming. It's so awesome that we got to see this. I'm sure I was off filming something. Will was off doing something, and here we are getting to enjoy something really unique. And I think this is something that'll really give some folks a push in the right direction in terms of doing this sort of move.
Mm-hmm.
Just a process to think about, at least. Sometimes that's all it takes, It's like some people will just copy that one for one, and that's fine. But like other people, you give them that right idea. Like, okay, he pushes that in and then builds it out, and then they all of a sudden can think about a whole different thing,
Yep.
I think this is great. So, point being, we got to enjoy this because Carrie was out there and kind enough to stand in front of a camera for hours filming this, and I just wanted to take a minute to thank her and to FireFly. Good God.
FireFly,
Dude,
yeah.
Thank you so much, man. This is, your work is the bee's knees, man, I swear. It really is, though. Yeah.
It is really great. I mean, we don't just sit here and be like, we don't talk about artists we like or whatever. We give credit where credit is due here at Torch Talk, and FireFly has definitely earned his praise here for sure.
Oh yeah.
There was an interesting chat up in the chat about Bunsen use, and I don't have any experience of it, Mike. Maybe you have some, but how much propane they use?
Yeah, that I
And
couldn't tell you. I did have one for a little while, but for my enclosed bench, it wasn't the best thing. It was like heating the roof too much. I was like, no, no, no. Um,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it wasn't the best thing for me. So
that's
yeah,
a good thing to think about.
right. Yeah, and I wish I could answer that question for you, but I'm sure whatever amount they use is probably worth it. So
Yeah, and I would just imagine it's pretty low, I guess. I don't know.
right. Yeah. And homies, these companies once again, they are really, really helping me get to all these different shows. Every week we're getting to see something special, and it's because these cats and y'all pitching in on Torch Pass are really helping me make that possible. So, if you could consider supporting on there, and in fact, I did want to give you guys just a quick update on what's going on over there. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, and you unlock all of this for $5. So this is actually that bonsai hot shop demo was from the gas conference in Murano. The hollow cheeseburger, that's another one from Melt. The Hunger Fund packs are going out. They're already in the mail. Um, Echelon Glass doing some incredible lathe work. We got stacked reversals with Cowboy. Echelon Glass, he actually told an interesting story about incorporating one of those FireFly heads into a bong, like that he was making on the lathe, and he basically was saying that like the luster gold on the teeth is he had to be very careful with that. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Anyways, Sue's on the lathe tip, Flame Princess, AKM on the skull pendant. Like I said, $5 you unlock all that and everything in the past as well. There's a solid bear from Caitlin out at Corning Museum. And there's so much stuff. A lot of it you guys have seen on the show. Some of it hasn't even found an opportunity to be released yet. But, not to go on about this too long, but essentially this coverage we're doing is a community effort now. The companies that are coming together, and if you guys could pitch in on this, it goes straight to the expenses of getting to these shows, filming all this stuff, and getting to share it. So I just thought I'd give you guys a quick monthly refresher of what was new popping on there. Yeah, and then here, check this out, you guys. This is there's the cam that fell from the Explorer.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. So that's on Paragon's website, you guys. Definitely check that out. Yeah, for real.
At least the cop was cool. I mean, he could have, I don't know. I guess he could have thought bad things, but
Right. Who knows what
did the right
happens
thing.
when you obstruct a roadway or whatever. That doesn't.
We're gonna have to find you for this kiln dust, sir. This is gonna cause some bike riders some issues later. I don't know.
Yeah, really, no shit. Homies, let's do a quick giveaway.
Oh shit.
Pick a number 1 through 100 and throw it into that chat.
There we
we've
go.
been doing a lot of giveaways in the group, but I thought we'd do something special for y'all homies out there in the chat. And what I've got right here is a piece of the recent Spectrum eye comb that I made. I'll show you guys a picture of it here on the got a nice piece of that for one of you guys out there, and we'll throw in a sticker pack as well.
That one's watching you.
Yeah, that one came out pretty fun. I like that. So
Some bug eyes right there. Some kind of spider.
So this is a cool. nice piece of this. I'm not sure what the diameter is, but get out with my calipers. It's it's almost 10 millimeter piece, so it's a nice. It actually is 10 on this end. Just tapers a little bit to like 9.5. Anyways, I set this little fatty guy aside.
Numbers be dropping.
Dropping them numbers. Nice. And then you know what?
There we go.
We'll pick a second winner too, because I got some of this dragon eye cane.
Nice.
Show y'all a picture of that as well.
2 winners.
there will be
Chicken dinners.
two fucking winners tonight. I really appreciate anybody who stuck with us. The internet has not been cooperative tonight.
Yeah.
So I appreciate anybody who stuck around till the end of the show.
It's crazy what they're doing to us.
It really is. Yeah, check this out, you guys. This is that dragon eye that I pulled recently. I appreciate the nice feedback on that. Can we get a full screen, please? What's going on? Bam, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, that's I made that with amber purple. So some of these guys, like these were probably the canes that I pulled first, you know, and then I went in on the other end because like they just sat in the kiln longer, and you could see the amber darkening in. And then when folks use it, I did a lensing test, and it went this gorgeous, gorgeous purple. And even had this crazy iridescent effect, but I'm not certain if that'll happen for everybody, so I didn't want to hype it too much. Anyways, yeah, so we'll pick somebody to win one of the Spectrum Eye comb, and this is a fatty section of this dragon eye cane. This is like bam. It's pretty diesel.
Ooh, fatty.
Yeah, so
it looks like the numbers are in, Mike. I guess
numbers are in. All right.
They've definitely, people are now saying words instead of numbers. So,
gotcha.
I don't know.
Just to totally make this an advertisement, it's mikemason.bigcartel.com if you'd like some of that dragon eye, or even that spectrum comb. Actually, I think there's like 2 pieces of the dragon eye one left. Yep, there's 2 pieces left. So they went pretty quick. All right, random. And what did I say, 100? Is that right?
I think that's what it was.
All right.
I saw somebody say 99, and I didn't see anybody say over 100. So,
all right. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and pick this winner for the Spectrum one. 32.
32.
Do we have a 32?
Oh, we have everything around it.
Do we really?
Yeah, we have 31 and 33.
Hmm.
But we do not. Let's see.
All right.
I don't think I see a 32.
Really? Okay.
I'll
Clickety
do
clack.
one more check.
35.
Wow. Okay. 35.
I'm told there was every number around the other one, so I'm expecting a winner.
Yeah. But there, I think that's one we missed right there. Somebody said
Seriously?
37.
Damn.
Someone said 31. Like we said, 33, of course.
That's okay. I'll just pick
Somebody
another
said
number.
34, but not 35.
How about 14?
14. B14.
Anything?
We got a 13.
13.
Yep. But we don't have a 14.
It's all good. What up on a 70?
77, 75.
If this takes much longer, I'm gonna have to pause to do some drugs. Just so y'all know. Just kidding, but
That moment brought to you by Twitch. I don't see that number.
okay.
And I don't see anybody complaining that we missed one.
How
So
about 79?
79. 77. I think I see a winner.
Well, speaking of that trap, look, they just used to like do this shit out in the damn field. And I don't know why there's a book on the head. I mean, it's a Bosch painting, so shit get pretty freaky. But
Well, why is there a funnel on the one chick's head? Like, are they going to change their oil later?
that's a good question, man.
on their internal combustion engine.
Look at that, yo.
Wow, and you can see where it healed over, where they cut it. Look at that.
Shit's crazy. Just got like a corkscrew on this motherfucker.
He's not even looking at what he's doing. He's just.
Oh no. Now y'all want to talk about some crazy glass tools? Here we go. We're supposed to be picking winners, but this is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, no, there was a 79.
Oh, there is?
Sure.
Oh, okay, who won?
It was Nino Glass, was what I got.
Who, Nino?
Nino Glass, yep. And I think he was the only 79, so there won't be any confusion with, like, who was first.
Nino Glass, the homie you did the honeycomb demo for me out at Champs? We're talking about? No?
Maybe.
Same guy?
I don't know. Nino Glass AZ.
Okay, well, fair enough. All right, well, that's what's up. My dog, hit me at mikemason@gmail.com, like, or maybe on Facebook. But really, my email, I really do prefer that. If you hit me up there, I'll do it. Yo, also, if the homie out there, man, I sent out all these different prizes recently, but there was one pack, and the homie even wrote to me, like, where's that thing at? And then I spaced on them. Whoever won that prize that came with that Millie hat pin, yo, hit me up again. I'm so sorry. I completely spaced on who won that thing. And, like, I couldn't find it on my messages, so sorry. Yeah. And then let's pick the winner of this fat fucking dragon eye cane.
The icons.
Yeah. And yeah, like I don't know. Actually, I don't think I'll have time to do this. I was gonna offer to pull this down because it's pretty fat, but I don't know. I'm out of town. We're covering that time show. Oh, guys, speaking of that, let's just do one more reminder about that. Because, yo, if you are anywhere near Richmond, Virginia, you got to come out to the Melt on Friday if you can make it. This time show is going to be fucking amazing. Time is, like, just... Dude, it's nasty, nasty good. There's the flyer. It's the 8th, 4 to 10. It's going to be freaking awesome. And look at that. They gave your boy the shout out. And there's my dog Robbie out there filming with me too. And this cat Time, his work is just absolutely, look at this. This homie's work is so fucking awesome. So that's who I'll be filming on Friday. It's like actually the first event of the year, so I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, look at this guy's stuff. And then man, the Melt, you guys, the food there and everything is just look at what they did today to make me hungry. Woo! It's got sound effects. All right. Okay. Whew. Uh-oh, did I close random.org?
Maybe.
All right, here we go. So this is the one for the eye cane. I'm getting too loose. All right, 81. Do we add an 81?
81. You know, I think let me see. There's an 88. Some of y'all were just a few numbers off. 81. I see one. Now let me make sure there's not one before it. Prefer it. That is a confirmed winner on my screen. Heathen Art Glass, which I believe is Eddie Neal. Is that right?
What's that?
Yes, it is right. Yeah.
Who said what now?
It is Eddie Neal.
Who did what? Who won this thing?
Who just won, yes.
Okay, because somebody was just telling me that he won he was the guy who won the hat pin. Is it really Eddie? I don't believe that. I feel like I would remember that. Me and him talked about a whole bunch of shit.
You can only win once a lifetime, Eddie. So
hell no, dude. You can win a lot of times. One cat won 2 of the random ones done in the group out of like thousands of people. It was crazy. I couldn't believe that. That shit was wild.
Sometimes lightning strikes. You know?
So we did. Okay, so we have 2 winners.
That's what it looks like to me. Nino Glass and Eddie Neal.
All right, well,
y'all know what to do. Get with Mike Mason.
Got you guys those canes. Got you guys the sticker packs. I really appreciate everyone who tuned in. That's why I do these things. It's you know, I mean, you'd think they would be all smart about it and be like, and hey guys, tonight we'll be giving away that. I don't give a fuck about all that. I really just appreciate everybody who sticks around to the end of these things, listens to me ramble about God knows what. By this point of the show, shit gets pretty loose. And yeah, so anyways, I wish I could give something away to everybody, but I appreciate all y'all so much for being here with us and making this party. About to jump into basically the year is about to start, because this show goes down, and then Glass Vegas, and then Champs, and then the Gas Conference, and then the Glasscraft and Bead Expo, and then the ASGS Conference, the AMFO. Guys, if you're going to be near West Virginia area, another East Coast one, that's like the July 4th weekend or whatever. Another one that I actually did want to mention tonight. Let me see if I could find this real quick. This one's out in Texas, in Austin. If I can't find this event, let me get everything right. Here's another one, you guys, that, I hate to be a bit like a broken record or whatever. It's just, man, I ain't too proud to beg. There's so many cool things that I want to do, and we all benefit together. So that's why I kind of don't mind harping on it. This one that I'm just looking for the details on is another one that I would like to fit in, and I'm like, man, there's another 2 tickets. It's a hotel, and it fits right into the schedule though. It fits in between, Champs Atlantic City, and then the ASGS Symposium at Corning. So I'm just like, damn, I really, 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 really would like to do this event. Okay, here we go. Got it. Fucking A. All right, my dogs. Save the date. Armadillo Art Glass Initiative. They've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point for Meals on Wheels. So if you're anywhere near Austin, Texas, you guys should come out for this. That looks like Dirty Louie to me. That looked like Micah Evans to me. Oh fuck, that's Earl Jr., isn't it? Is that N8? That's N8.
Oh, all we can see is you, Mike.
See what I'm saying? I think that's Salt. So I think they're putting together a serious fucking lineup here. Here's another one I'd like to get out. I'd like to film these demos. Your boy Micah is gonna let me put a camera in his face all day. So here, like I said, I don't want to be. Oh, they're not seeing this thing. Damn it. Okay, sorry. Here you go. That's what I've been rambling about. Damn it. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, like I said, the Torch Pass thing is what's going to make the difference here, because I don't want to add another 10 sponsors. There's we could hit up a ton of companies, but I don't want to have to show you guys 20 ads, and I don't want to have to rep companies that I haven't done business with for mad years. So that's where y'all come into play. And like I was saying, for $5 you get access to everything I shoot. Not everything, but a lot of dank stuff 6 months in advance. That's the pitch. So if you guys want to see awesome stuff like this, I could technically be there, but it's man, where exactly is the money? So if we could add a few more of you homies on there, pitching in, that would be great. But if not, I bottom line, I appreciate you being here, regardless of whether you can pitch in to to the expenses and stuff. But yeah, I really want to take this thing to the next level. I want to have enough money to go see some of you guys out there. There's all these studios and people who would be happy to have me and film stuff that you guys would enjoy. So yeah. Anyways, enough about that. But yo, homies, thanks so much for being here with us. I think that's about it for me. I've rambled my rambles. Guys, thanks so much again. You've made so much possible. Like I said, we're about to hit a plane on Saturday, and it's just going to be nonstop until pretty much until after Melt. Because now it looks like we're going to try and sneak in this FAM show in August. It's just not going to stop. So thank you guys for being here and making this wild ride possible. I know I'm harping on all this extra stuff I want to do, but just the core of this is so beautiful. thank you guys for being here with me on this ride and making it possible. I'm gonna hand it off to the roll dog and let him send y'all off. But yeah, thanks so much, you guys. Y'all are the best. Hell yeah. Until next time.
I really have not much to add other than thank you all for watching from me to you guys hanging out there with us. And those of y'all watching on YouTube later that hang out with us over there when it works. We appreciate y'all as well. Appreciate everybody being here and watching a cool demo with us. Carrie, great job. Firefly, thank you. Awesome stuff. Mike, great job editing.
Thank you,
and great job, chat room, for keeping it entertaining as always, which is always a good time. I would say until next week, but some of y'all will actually get to see us like in the real world in Vegas, whatever direction it is.
Yep.
Oh, what, Mike?
Oh no, just like hell yeah. But no, I mean if I'm going to interject, I'm thinking out loud here. Maybe we should make some kind of post or something to coordinate between now and Glass Vegas. So I'd like to know everybody who's going to be there, and so maybe we all get together for a drink at some scheduled time down there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it'll be. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, no. Once you mentioned that, I was like, damn, we are going to be seeing some of our homies out there. I'd like to facilitate that.
Yeah, we should put a post up or something, and have a beverage or something. And I heard last night, I heard Lucian Libby is gonna be in Vegas with us.
Lou's coming to fucking Vegas? Fuck yes. All right, this event just went platinum.
Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So we will see some of y'all out there next week. We probably won't have an episode next weweek, I'm thinking, Mike. Maybe we'll probably end up being out there, be busy filming stuff. We're gonna come back with something hard.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna try and share stuff. I just don't know what it's gonna be exactly. Like I have the notion that we'll go back to the room and I'll share like a demo at some point. But cool. if that means that I won't be able to film something else, I think everybody would prefer to have it later, right? So
right.
That's my thoughts there. But anyways, yeah, no,
we always play it loose when that situation comes up because the Wi-Fi is never as good as it is while we're at home and stuff like that. So y'all know the drill. Y'all been with us for long enough to kind of know how we do. We're going to bring y'all some fun stuff. We're going to go there and bring it back to y'all so y'all can, if you can't make it, you can feel like you were there maybe, which is kind of what we're here for. So
yeah. And then one thing real quick, if you don't mind. This is like a video. I don't know exactly what's going to be on this stream, but Glass Vegas has their own live thing ready to pop off. So maybe you guys take a note of this or find it. I don't know exactly what's going to be here, but it's probably going to be cool. Looks like they got like a bunch of the Walton Art Village stuff here. Like that's a Steve Bates grenade piece and coil and yeah, freaking... Anyways, yeah, just so y'all know that they do have their own thing. We mentioned it like last week or something, but anyway, sorry to interrupt. I thought that was worthwhile.
No, it's gonna be cool. We probably should have mentioned that earlier, but
yep.
Yeah, we'll see y'all out there, or we'll see y'all back on the interwebs in not too long. So we appreciate y'all watching. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And episode 206 is in the bag. We will see y'all next time.
Peace
out.